All right, guys, we're back. 1:24 in the morning, trying to keep the energy levels up over here. Luckily, the guys I'm working with tonight aren't morons and know how to do their job, so I don't have to shove ice picks through my eyes and end my life. So that's a good note. Finally got a break. Well, I can take a break whenever I want. I can literally do whatever I want when I'm at work. Now, I don't do that because I'm my own boss. And I don't do that because they pay me a good amount of money to be responsible. So I take care of business, and when I get a chance, then I hang out. It's actually ridiculous what I've done at this job. Hopefully they never see this, even though they probably already know I was doing it. I know that the housekeeping staff know that I was doing it, but when I would say probably 3-4 years ago, about halfway into the life of this job, I was hooking up with a few cleaning ladies here. Another reason why they called me Mr. Clean. And it was like I was on cloud nine. I was making $1,000 day rate. Well, back then I didn't have a raise, so about $750 day rate to literally get to work, blaze, eat, smash one of the cleaning ladies in a designated area, and then get to work, whatever that might have been. So it was like whatever I wanted to do. It was unbelievable. It was like I was like a vacation or some shit. I don't even know how to explain it. In fact, funny story, and then I'll get into the charts. One time when this was first starting to happen, we didn't know where to go in the mall. And remember, she was like watched by her, or she had to like clean stuff. So people were like on radio with her consistently. So we had to find a place to go where we could get a quickie in. So it started in the bathrooms, like in one of the private bathrooms. Then it moved to here, and then it moved to there. But when we were trying to figure out our spot, eventually we found like the nicest spot. Where there were no cameras and we could do whatever we wanted. It was private as hell. But one time we were in a hallway and it was probably midnight, and I'm standing on, I think it was like the first stair, and she's on one of the bases of the stairways or staircases, and I can't really get into what was being performed, but there was a performance going on, and we didn't know there were still people at the mall. We didn't think there was any workers left, but it was like it led into Bloomingdale's, into the back of Bloomingdale's. But it was a door here, a door here. We're in the hallway here. So the person, we're doing it, and a person walks right out, and all I hear is the sound of the door, and I'm immediately like, you can't be seen doing this. This can't be visible. So my first reaction was to turn and run. Mind you, I was on the stairs. I wasn't even thinking. Trip on the stairs, pants completely down. Boner straight into the concrete stairs, which she thought was funny. I don't even know. Whoever saw that, whoever walked by, was more embarrassed to even make themselves known than I was. Imagine walking through and you see this cleaning lady with her rubber gloves still on, and then this half-naked guy with his dick in his stare. But again, my life's pretty interesting. I could give one of these stories every night, but I don't know if anybody's even watching or anybody even gives a crap. But we'll jump into the charts. Enough of that boring crap. MULN. Now, I know that I've been bearish on MULN, whatever, just say whatever you want to say. Lawrence Harge is your best friend. He's the guy that you want to spend the rest of your life with. You want him to marry your daughter. If that's your deal, if that's your gig, fine. I'm not even going to complain about it anymore. I'm not even going to get in your face anymore about it anymore. I'm just going to go over the fact that the chart is looking bullish, believe it or not. And that's all I care about. I don't care who's in charge of the company. I don't care if they sell cars. I don't care if they sell speakers. I don't care if they sell hair follicles. It doesn't matter to me in the slightest. And the reason for that is because I'm usually trying to swing. Now, there is a stock that I like right now. I'll get into that later. Let's just stick to MULN here so you people don't want to kill me. And I know that a lot of people are going to be watching MULN because people are obsessed with MULN. Is everything looking good here? I would hope so. I think so. It better be, because this is the only time I'm doing this. MULN. All right, I'm feeling a little bit better tonight. Some nights I start talking, I'm like, yeah, nah, just shut the hell up. And then there are other times, if I start on the right note, I feel good about it. And I can kind of let things flow. That's just the way things work. Remember, this is the realest. Nobody else talks like this on YouTube. They're so straightforward. They're so robotic. They just get right into the... Who wants to listen to that? Like, if you're listening to stocks, it's already boring. Got to make it interesting. That's what I'm trying to do. But MULN absolutely looks bullish. You got to get above about 9.3 with some. If I want to see a break, if you break out at 10, if you break above 10, you break this downtrend here, which it's trying to do. And they do have the pump engines rolling, which is great. That's what you need. You just need a cut off of the spigot at dilution. You get above 10 with volume and strength. This stock has a lot of eyes on it. It's got a lot of interest in it. You are at a very, very low price. Your RSI is oversold. Your MACD isn't really doing much, which is a good thing. You want this to start to curl up and start to go north. You want to get on a big run, potentially get back to 34. That's like, I'm looking at first stop maybe after 10. You're looking at 26. This thing could really go on a run. This thing definitely has some momentum going on right now, and I think it's just overblown, the sell-off, even though it's the company that has been doing it, and I don't care whether you believe that or not, only the truth will be told, and if not, I'll turn into stone. DPLS. Sometimes the computer just doesn't keep up with my brain. Now, this is... I saw this yesterday. I said it's an ascending wedge. I said it looks really good. And I was mulling all this over in my brain the night before, which was last night. And I said, DPLS looks, I said to myself at one point, I said, DPLS is going to be the main winner tomorrow. You should just go full force on that with the cash you have available. And then I chose one because of the morning volume and the hype. And I lost 15%. So, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I will never chase anything pre-market again. I'll never chase any of these stocks that I have no idea what the hell's going on. I had done some research into DPLS. They had just released a 10K. The chart was bullish as hell. It was an ascending wedge with a breakout of the top. I saw it gapping up in the morning. I even had a buy order in that I didn't execute. And I took it down for this other stock that I lost in, and I should have obviously went with DPLS because it's still got room to run. I don't think it's done. I think it's going to go higher today. I think it's going to break and hold above 1, and then I think it's going to take off to about 2 cents. Sick. Could have been in at 7, but I'm not. I missed the boat, even though I don't really necessarily need to miss the boat because I could get in today. It's bullish. It's running. It's breaking the downtrend. Everything about it looks good. Closing near the high of the day. Perfect candle after a breakout. You're going to get an extension, a continuation today. Enjoy it, love it. I wish I could be there with you, but I'm dumb and my brain doesn't function correctly in the mornings. So today I know what I'm buying. I have already thought about it. I'm not going to let some pre-market volume stir my mind up. Even going through the list of things that people were saying, oh, this one, this, I was like, I ain't even going to look at it. I'm not even going to think about it because that's the thing is you have to stick with what you know. What I'm going to be buying tonight is what I know, or this morning. What I saw with DPLS was what I knew. But instead, I went with something that looked more exciting at the time. And that's a problem. And I let the boards dictate my moves. So, hate to have that rant on DPLS because it's such a beautiful chart, but just know that this thing is ready to run. You have the volume. That is the key. You had the volume. I watched it trade all day and I wanted to poop my pants all day, rub it all over my face, and then kiss my girlfriend that doesn't exist, and then bite my own tongue off, swallow that, and choke on it, go to the emergency room, and have to sit in the emergency room for hours, only to find out that I don't have insurance and they won't take me, and then die. ENZC. Another one that I saw, why don't I ever buy anything that I know is going to work? Why do I always buy everything on a gamble? Why do I always buy everything that I don't know if it's going to work and I'm just like thinking it might? I knew ENZC when it started to break out here. I was like, oh, mamma mia, this is going to 8. And that was at 6. I was like, oh, okay, well, I could definitely get some percentage here. And I had an order in and I didn't buy it. Because why? Because I'm a moron. I even had the bid. It just didn't hit. And I could have easily just kept it there and it would have hit. And that was at like 6.2. But I didn't. Why? Because I'm an asshole. That's why. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say certain things on here because of ad revenue. They haven't even given me ad. I'm not even going to get into it. I'm just upset because ENZC is actually breaking above that. Now, you might get a pullback down here to 7, 9, to 8, but I think this thing is gone. I think this thing is gonzo. You had enough time of consolidation. You have 3 green soldiers. Now, you might have a pullback, but you're going to have a pullback, and then it's going to keep going. It's not going to stay down. Buy the dip on this whenever it may happen. Don't chase the ask. Don't get FOMO. Don't think, oh my God, I'm going to miss out. You're not going to miss out. There will be a pullback eventually. Is it today? I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe it'll just gap and go like it's been doing. But it usually has a little bit of problems here, but you have the volume. You have any death in volume, you might have a pullback. Watch these stocks. ENZC is one to keep your eyes on because once it breaks and holds above 8, 9 in that realm, I would say hit 10. If you start seeing 10 go, that's when you hit the ask because you know it's breaking out. You know that if you just hold it for a week, you're going to see a higher gain. ENZC is ready to go. It's one of my favorite stocks right now. GMZP, absolute turd, destroyed all shareholder confidence, just mauled. I don't even know the word for it, but this is a mauling. This is getting attacked by a bear and getting eaten slowly while it holds you down, getting eaten alive, getting buried alive. This is what getting buried alive looks like, and having enough air that you can survive for 3 weeks, and having little droplets of water put in your mouth so you can survive for 3 weeks. This is what this stock shows me, and now it's giving you a little bit of life, which is a few drops of water and a little mint. I don't know why they give you mints, but they only give you mints for nourishment. And you get a little bit of a pop back here, a little wintergreen boy back to this trend line, which is down. I don't like it at all. I don't like the CEO coming out with bull. That news was the most fluffiest news of all time. I've never seen any fluffier news than that. It's just pure fluff. That's why the price is destroyed. Now, you might be able to get a little bit of a bump back to 4, okay? You might be looking at a situation like that. But after what I've seen the stock do, and after what I've seen the CEO do, he's incompetent, he's a fool, he's a known scammer. Nah. Bye-bye. See you later. No touch. No touchy, no never. No never, no touchy. VENG. Another one that's about to break the hell out. Holy McChooch. This thing is like, I don't even know how it's on the OTC, but this thing is a perfect ascending wedge. You start to break above 2 here, folks, you're gone. Your RSI is pretty hot, but it's not that bad. Your MACD is turning up. You got a gap up at $10. You never know what could happen here. This thing looks really, really good. I might even throw something at this today. Not even gonna lie. Can't even tell no lie. I might just buy in with $1,000 and see what happens. Buy in with $1,000. See if I can turn it into $4,000. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna I'm gonna buy the 2 break, and then I'm probably gonna get my face dumped on. But that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna go for it. Why? Because I've looked into it. I like the chart. I'm gonna give it a go, and we'll see what happens. MACD looks perfect. Volume is coming in. I just got to watch this, and it seems like the sellers are out, and it wants to go higher. Let's see. Bumblebee, little bee and a boy, and little bee and the stinger. Sorry. Does it look like I want that one? Does it look like I'd ever review one at a quadruple 4 or quadruple 1? Does it look like I'd ever review that stock? I just chose this one because your RSI is pushing up. MACD's not overbought. A little bit of volume coming in. Actually, only 1.2 million shares, so not that much. But if this thing can get some volume in it, it might be at a low and it might be ready to go. Not much else to say there other than the fact that just keep an eye on things like this and watch for them to break out. Watch for volume to really come in, and it could be the first stint of a run. BFRG. Why do I feel like this isn't working? Hold on. God help me in heaven. It's got to be, right? Yeah, no, it is. Holy McChooch. So next is BFRG. This had a nice little recovery the other day. If it holds this middle band and doesn't start to push below it again, you just don't want it to be a revival to this middle band. You want to get above it and you want to come back to the top of this flag, which is right around $8. You get it. This thing has the potential to get to $8 or reject it at this middle band. There's really no other way around it. That's just the way of the world, and that's just the way the stock market works. And if you don't like it, then don't trade it. But either way, your resistance is at 595. Or actually it's already above it. This thing might go. This thing might go. You want to just, I wouldn't chase pre-market volume though. Don't think that it's going to go now. Wait to see what happens in the morning. Is the volume going to keep up? You don't have to buy it in the first 5 seconds. Wait to see how the stock performs. Even if you miss out on 10%, you're going to have a better idea of whether it's confirmed or not. Whereas if you buy it in the morning, it might run for the first minute and then tank. And you don't want that. ATLX. This one might be coming to an end. I hate to say that. Just short term. Not saying that long term, this isn't one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life. Just for the fact of this perfect flag and then the bing bang bop. But I don't like this. Pre-market is up a little bit, but I just don't like this red candle here. But I didn't like this red candle, and it kept going. And I also... I'm kind of not thinking about the fact that it had an extremely higher low, and it is beasting pre-market. Is this just going to keep going forever? I'm not sure, but your technicals are pretty hot. Even though it's been a slow grind, it's like, all right, enough's enough. I mean, you got to have a pullback at some point. Right? Right. And that's never wrong. I mean, I could tell you, no, 100% out of 100%, 10 out of 10 without questione, that this will have a pullback just like every other stock has ever had in the entire history of the market. There's never been anything that just didn't have a pullback, trust me. So you don't have to worry about that. And always buy on the pullbacks. Unless it's been a flat line, you get in real early and then it rises. And that's the goal, huh? FSR. Fisker, I was actually thinking about buying one of these before I bought my Maserati, but they're just like so random and weird. The interior's really strange. I looked at them, and because you can get an old one, you can get one from like 2012 for like, I don't know, 20, 30 grand, but who wants a 2012 car? They just look sick. The look, absolutely gorgeous. I saw their new cars, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the modern ones are so sexual. But still, they're very niche. They're not like everybody's going to go out and get a Fisker like it's a Toyota Bolt or whatever the hell they're called. So, you know, can this stock really go? Yes, but I just don't like the fact that it can't break this channel here. If it can break that channel, is it just coming back to fill this gap? Possibly. They do have a lot of things in the pipeline. They're going to start deliveries. I actually know somebody who bought one of the new ones. He's waiting for the delivery. So, you know, the hype could start to come. Could be a long-term investment. You know, this might be a channel for a couple months, but it might start to break. You break this channel, you're gonzo. You get up to $7, $8, you're probably gonzo as far as long-term, and you probably got in at a good price. But it definitely probably wants to come down and fill this gap around 4.9. Like, it's right there. It's very close. That's where it's going to want to get short term. AMC. This stock is the best stock to ever exist. It's going to $275, just like everybody says. Why? Because everybody says it. Just like whenever I'm in an Uber and my Uber driver says, this is the next big stock, I immediately buy it without questioning it, without looking at it, without doing any DD, with not even knowing what it is. Because that's what I like to do. I like to listen to people that have no idea what they're talking about. I like to listen to people who got started in the market in 2020 and used their stimulus checks to get into AMC. They got a huge pop and now think they're the best thing since sliced bread on Wall Street. Hey, let me break it to you. This is the best stock ever made, and it is going to $1 trillion market cap, and everyone goes to the movie theater anymore. In fact, I don't know one person that doesn't go almost every day, every night. I go to the movie theater. As soon as I get off work, I go to the movie theater, even after a 12-hour shift. Why? Because everybody wants to be there. It's the best thing to exist. So now, obvious, and all the movies that are in the movie theater, incredible. They're all so good. I want to see every single one of them because they're exhilarating. All fresh stories, all great great acting. Everybody plays the part perfectly because they're picked on how they actually play the role and not what they look like. There's no feminism involved. There's no political agenda. I love them going to the movies, and so does everybody else. AMC, $1 trillion market cap, any day now. BBBY. BBBY, wowza. This is another thing. I don't even know what year this was, or I don't know when this was. Actually, it wasn't that long ago, was it? No, I think it was. No, was it? No, I don't think it was that long ago. I don't remember exactly, but I just don't have a date on here for some reason. Not sure why. But back then, BBBY only ran because it was memed, and it was also heavily bought insider style by this guy named Cohen. Not going to get into that last name. I'm just going to leave it there. But either way, some Cohen guy just randomly bought into a pretty much bankrupt company, and it ran 500% out of nowhere, and he sold the top, and now it's all the way back down here. This is what you get for, now you can follow the money in. You find out this guy that's well connected with politics and the drive, then you know to follow that in, but know that he's going to dump because it's a bullcrap company. And that's exactly what he did. Now, if you didn't follow the money, if you followed the money in and you didn't follow it out, first of all, you're definitely at a loss at this point. And second of all, you probably lost, God only knows how much in unrealized gains. So stop thinking that you know better than the guys that are in the know. If you're not in the know, you're at a very, very bad disadvantage. So either way, Bollinger Band's pinching pretty tough here. It's at a very, very low price. But your RSI's oversold, everything's oversold. You're going to need another life shoulder to get this thing back up and moving again, but it is a meme stock, so you never know, do you? SRTY. SRTY. I still can't figure out how to get the watermarks on here, which would put the name of the ticker on the back. If you know how to do that, please let me know. I could probably look it up, but I'm lazy. Why did I choose this one? I chose this one because this is another like high liquidity traders trade. First of all, you got an inverse head and shoulders here, which looks really good. It's basically the opposite of what we saw in GMZP. You get this, the pullback, you get this, the pullback, and now you go up. Now you break above this resistance at 5.8, somewhere in that area, almost identical. And then you break above and you go to, let's say, 72, which is a very good gain. Now, it might not happen overnight, but again, you put 200 grand in this, you have the liquidity to get in and get out very easily. It's a safe stock, so you're not going to lose your donkey, and it's going to go to 72, and you're going to love life because you're going to make a good 20-30% on your 200 grand, which you do the math. That's what I intend to get to. In fact, I don't intend to get there. I know I'll get there eventually. I'm in my 7th year of trading. I've always said I'll give myself 10 years. Not that I'm going to quit after 10 years, but I think that 10 years doing anything, I don't care how much you work at it. I don't care how much effort you put in. You need 10 years. It's not like with basketball. If you're trying to learn basketball and you want to be the best, you want to actually be a pro where you make money at it, think about it. You have to train for a lot more than 10 years. So 10 years is already a short cry. Nobody wants to do anything for a month, let alone 10 years. So if you can stick with it, I'm 7 years in. I got 3 more years to go. I still have things to learn. In fact, I've learned most everything. I just still make the same mistakes. And everybody does, but you got to just fine tune it, and until you become a master. Just like you're distilling whiskey. I don't care what you're doing. If you've been distilling whiskey for 50 years, you're going to be pretty damn good at it. I don't know how I got into that, but either way, SRTY, I like the fact that it's going to break over this resistance. I like the chart set up perfectly. Technicals are pretty much spot on, dead on, perfection, sexual. If I could, I would insert myself into my computer after the look at that. SHMP, harsh pullback after a big day, 75%. No, 77% up on this green dildo to the moon. Pullback with red hellfire down to the devil's D. I don't know how else to explain it, but these are the things that are pretty tough. You get these big runs and these big pullbacks. Sometimes you get these big runs and they keep going. But this, I said yesterday, this was at a level of resistance. And look, it even peaked up there in the morning. Know to take your 100% gain, especially if you were in at 4 and you caught it early. quickly, and then you can always buy back on the pullback. Now, if it keeps going, so be it. It was money that you weren't meant to be making. Just like if you worked an 8-hour shift and you were driving home, you wouldn't, and there was no work available, you wouldn't say, oh well, technically I could have worked 13 hours. That doesn't make sense. You wouldn't do that. So don't do that in the stock market. Take what gain is good for you. If it's 10%, 5%, 3%, 1,000%, whatever works for you, whatever your strategy entails, whatever your discipline dictates, follow that and don't follow anything else. Don't listen to what people say on the boards. If you sell and you say you sell, I have to say I sell because there's people following me, and I feel like if I'm in something, I want the people to know, because I don't want them to think that I'm like pumping them into something and then dumping and then not saying anything. But either way, if you go on a board and you say, hey, I sold, and people attack you for it, don't listen. Don't get sucked back into the stock. Don't think, oh, well, I got to get back in, because that's how you really start to have problems. But SHMP, basically, I'd be looking for a pullback to 4.6 today. I think that would be a good entry zone if you're not already in. I just think that there's a potential for this to touch this middle band and then revert. I think it is going to do one of these, and I think it is going to go higher. So there's that. GFAI, this is a good example of why you don't want, why a lot of day traders get out at the end of the day, because you never know what's going to happen pre-market, aftermarket. I mean, aftermarket is a little bit easier. But I mean, you can be up and you can always be paying attention. But if you're not on Webull, you can't trade from 1 to 4 a.m. My time. So if something comes out, you're going to have 3 hours of trading, which is going to be massive dumping. Let's say if they come out with an RS after hours, or after the market, after hours closes, or pre-market, right when the pre-market opens, what have you. If you don't have the ability to sell and something bad comes out, you're in trouble. And that's what's happening with GFAI right now. Like, think about it. You could have been, oh, I'll buy this pullback. Maybe I'll get in right here, and maybe I'll pop it out. You buy it in yesterday. You can't day trade, whatever. You don't have day trading capabilities, or whatever the case may be. And boom, you're all the way back down to 4.9. You lose 50% before you can even make a move. That is a problem. That is why you don't put all your eggs in one basket. That is why you don't, I mean, if you can close out your position every day, I would just do that, because then you can always get back in, even at the, like, it's probably not going to gap up on you that much, or just leave it alone. But once I have the ability to day trade, it'll be very tough for me to hold any position overnight because of situations like this. I don't want to wake up to a 50% haircut on a position. Sorry, nah. Nah, 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 nah. No, 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 no. Never, never, never. GNS, listen, again, do I like the company? No. Do I like the CEO? No. Did I tell everybody to sell at 750? Yes. Did I say that it was coming back down all the way down to here? Yes. Did it happen? Yes. Did you listen to the pumpers? Probably. And there's nothing I can do about that. Now, all that being said, hopefully you're still here and didn't run away like a little baby because you want to hear only good things about my little stocky poo. If you are, then you have balls and you'll probably make it in the market. But if you're not, then you'll probably just be like, oh no, I'm just going to listen to the people that make me feel good. And then they're going to dump on your skull and you're going to die. And you're going to die a painful death at the bottom of the ocean, swimming with the fishes with the electronics on their face. But this is, look, now it's a flag, it's a low flag, but you're pinching on your technicals, or your Bollinger Bands, your technicals are turning up, your volume really needs to come in. You're at 2.8 million, which is still a significant amount of trading, given the fact that it's $1, that's 2.8 million in cash, a lot of liquidity. Is it going to come down to fill this gap? I'd be actually low-key surprised, but nothing surprises me anymore. But set your alerts for that gap, and that's where I'd say either buy it to the downside, or if it breaks above, if it's trying to do it, if it gets above and it starts to get above, like if it goes to 125, 130, then you could be, that's where I'd set my alerts. QUBT, I don't know if somebody brought this up for me to request because I wouldn't have pulled this up. I don't know exactly what's going on with this stock, but obviously it's at a 52-week low. It's even breaking below that, or it's sitting right on that. You don't, I don't know if this is going to be a tremendous oversell, and then I just don't know anything about this company, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Other than the fact that it's very, very low, and there's obviously a good chance that it could go up because of how low it is. I just don't see anything in this that excites me. CJJD. Now, somebody said that this is going to run really hard today. I won't buy it, so I probably will. Yeah, I mean, see, this is what I've been chasing recently as well, is these J hooks that are coming down over after an offering and then boom. Now, I do like the fact that the technicals look good, but this is what fooled me yesterday. I tried to get in one that looked pretty much the same and boom, I got tanked on. So I'm just, even if this does run back to this middle band, even if it does, even if it runs there today, that's fine, because chances are that it's not going to. And I'm done getting stuck in positions in the morning that I can't trade throughout the day because I just had to see my money dwindle away. Now, if I was able to day trade, I would probably be trying to scalp this right now. And I'd buy in at whatever gap fill this is. And if it started to break below the gap fill and show signs of weakness, then I'm out. If it starts to go, then I wait and I say, okay, damn, it closed at 180. It's definitely going to probably kiss this 227. And then I just set my sells for probably 210. And I'd say, see ya. But that has a very good chance of doubling up. I am just not taking the risk because I've seen it too many times where these oversold things, they even said the ZVSA, the one that I traded yesterday, literally had after hours, they closed an offering at $1. The price was at 50 cents. Everything looked good. Then I buy it and I find out Moon Market's I can't say the words, is on it and he's pumping it. So then I know it's going to tank. And it's just like, just, again, and I know nothing about the stock, so I'm not going to buy it because I know nothing about it. I just saw about it today. I just looked at it. Does the chart look good? Yeah. But I'm not just like, oh yeah, that looks good. Hey, and then I'm going to grab it. No más, no more, no muévete. No marico, marachetero, haratatira. Now, for those of you that don't speak Himalayan, means I'm not going to buy it. TIRX. Now, this is one that I could have bought yesterday, but again, these are all shots in the dark. You can buy this, you can buy that. It might go up, it might not. But I don't take tips. Never take tips. I don't care who you are. Wow, holy hell. What a day this thing had. Holy McChooch. Now, again, if I would have bought this, like, let's say, I know it didn't open here. I know it gapped up. But let's say I did buy that gap in the morning, and I thought, you know what? This thing is going to go. And I bought it at $3. It would run all the way to $8, and I'd be like, I'd be squirting to the ceiling. I would be like, there would be, the frozen, what are they, not snow cones, icicles. It'd be like that from my tip to the ceiling. Sorry, I'm not going to do that ever again. I'm never going to say anything like that ever again. But either way, I mean, that's what this reminds me of right here, because I would have been on cloud 9 at 8, and then the rest of the day, I would have had to see all my gains go away, all the way back down, and I'd have the limpest little dinky you ever done seen, like I just swam in the Antarctic Ocean, and I had to run from killer whales with my own 2 feet and 2 arms. It just beat up, cold, the whole scared for my life, no boner involved. Imagine being hard after you got out of the Antarctic Ocean and you had to swim away from a flock of killer whales. You wouldn't be feeling anything other than fear. And that's exactly what I'd be feeling right now. I'd be scared for my damn life. I'd be scared of ending up in the stomach of a fish like I was Jonah from the Bible. So that's the risk you run. You can go up 100% in a day and then right back down. MINM. Another one. Let's pull that one up right now. I'll add that bad boy. What's this doing pre-market? Look at this shit. Where am I at right here? I gotta get through these. MINM. dude, it ran, you should have seen the intraday chart. It ran all the way to $14. I think it was more like, yeah, like 13 or something. But I don't know why that wick looks like that. But it went all the way to $12, $13, $14 from $2 out of nowhere. And I even saw this guy. I don't know how that happened. That's a fluke. It's a random pump and dump. The market's been acting weird like this recently, and it's wiping retail out because it's getting fools like me to buy in thinking that this thing is going to stay up, and then it doesn't. I don't know but this is not a healthy. Now, it doesn't look that bad in the sense that it did close above, but now the pre-market, it's coming back down. You just got to hope that this holds up if you're long, or if you're planning to hold long, or if you're in at 8 or 9, 10, Jesus Christ. You're in trouble. This is how you lose money really fast. You lose control of your capital and you get wiped out. And that's why whoever makes the market, and I know who makes the market, but they are those that you cannot speak of. Their job is to take money from retail. That's what the market is. You're taking money from one person and giving it to another. Most of the people that get their money taken are poor schmucks, and most of the people who take the money are those who we can't speak of. So the hedge funds, whatever, they just all seem to be one creed, should I say. Now, what's going to happen from here? I don't know, but I don't want to be in that position where I don't know what's going to happen. That's what leads to bad decisions. When you're out of control, okay? Just like anything in life, you don't want to get your emotions out of control. Just like if somebody stepped in line in front of me at the 7-Eleven, and I knew they had a gun in their pocket, I'd have to keep my emotions under control, and I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, dog?" Because then I get my head blown off. Just like here, you don't want to be like, "Hey, what's up, MINM? How you do?" And then just you get smoked. That's all because this stock, I don't know. I don't know how to read it. I don't know. It could keep going. It obviously had a tremendous day the other day. A lot of people made money. People that were in here. People have been mentioning it to me, but I didn't see this guy. This is out of the blue. This is a fluke. You can't predict these things. I don't care what people say. HKD. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this thing ran to like $2,000 or whatever. Absolute insanity. I've never seen anything like that, I don't think. Well, maybe, that's like one of the big, I've seen a 22,000% gain in a day, and it lost it in one day. It went up 22,000% and it went all the way down in one day. Long story. Civ BQ back in the day, basically, that was another scam that people tried to sell at the top. The brokerage, there was brokerages that wouldn't let them, so they made like $1 million in a day, couldn't sell it, and then ended up losing money, which is, I would 100%, like, not just injure. I would definitely impale myself after I went on a rampage. Like, if that actually happened to me, people would be dead. People would be dead outside of myself. That's without question. I don't know, though. I mean, listen, it's Chinese stocks right now. Chinese stocks are running, so HKD could. But I'm getting a little bit tired of these random sympathy plays because they don't last. And I'm just not into that business right now. I'm not day trading. Now, once I get to day trading, I'll be all over these things. But I don't think these things come in waves. The next big thing will be AI. And then the next big thing will be, solar panels. And then the next big thing will be gold. And then it's cyclical, so you don't like get, Chinese stocks are always going to run. You get caught up in that. You might come in on the day that they stop running, and then you're dunzo for donzo. You're dingo for bongo. You're bonzo for longo. Now, for anybody that doesn't speak Farsi, or not Farsi, what language was that? Telugu, which is an Indian language. It's a dialect from Bombay, or southern India. I just said, you shouldn't be getting into Chinese stocks right now. NVOS. Or maybe you should be. Don't let me tell you what to do. I'm just saying, I don't know. Now, let's see what they're doing pre-market. 1380. This could be the day that NVOS finally takes off. This is one that could go to 60 short term. This is one I really like everything about it. I like the fact that the swag merger is coming up. I like the fact that they have to be compliant with $1 in a month. The only thing that would scare me is a reverse split. Somebody please let me know what the share structure is here. If it's got a maxed AS, if they've diluted it to max, that could be an issue, because I do agree with what somebody said. They said they're going to get it to $1 no matter what, whether that be, and I would figure what he meant by that is through a reverse split. I'm not saying that's going to happen at all. I would actually beg to differ. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that this is going to at least run to 60, and it's going to make its way to try and make it up to $1, which is a huge gain from here. I'm watching for 15 break. If it does that for daddy, then me go bye-bye. Meaning I actually buy the stock, not like I leave. FERN. I've heard of this one before. A very good flag, very good consolidation in the same range. You're at that bottom of that channel, which is a good thing. You just are going to need some type of news. All your technicals look good. Your volume's very low. Very, very low. So that would be the one indicator that I don't like on this, is the fact that the volume's low. But if you start to get volume like you did back here, this thing can move very quickly. Very thin stock, just needs news. Again, let me know if you ask me to do FERN, tell me what's going on with the stock. Is there something in the pipeline? Give me the time frame. FERN, can you please review this? No. That in 2 weeks, they're expecting this. No, that in 3 weeks, they're expecting this. Because that will actually give me the decision on whether to really like it or whether to hate it. Because right now, I hate it because there's no volume. There's nothing to look at. It's just a sideways chart. But if you tell me, oh, there's a rumor stirring and it's going to start to come to fruition in a couple weeks, then you buy now and you sell on the news. AXXA. Damn, this thing pulled back, huh? I thought this was going to go back here, but it didn't, and that's a shame. Dilution, I guess. I don't know. They said that they were supposed to have 3 acquisitions out in April. Did that not happen? I actually am surprised that I stopped looking at this, knowing that there was supposed to be some things coming out. Now, your technicals look good. I mean, it looks like it's trying to turn up here, turn up here. It's trying to steady here, but look at what happened last time it tried to steady. It dropped. Is it going to drop more? I don't know. I don't know what this day was. Maybe that was the day of the acquisition. Now, remember that acquisitions, they cost money, and a lot of the times they pay for these acquisitions in cash or in shares. If they get them in shares and they're immediately common, okay, I gotta add that. If they're just given to them in common shares, they're going to dump them immediately. I don't care what they think. They're going to get their money and they're going to get it right away. So a lot of times when acquisitions are announced, they dump because they know they're going to get the volume to dump into. That's why sometimes they don't always have the price reaction that you expect. Just keep that in mind. Maybe that's what's happening here. But either way, this is on a downtrend, and I'm not going to really like it until it breaks out of this downtrend. IDEX. This one had a pullback after it pierced this middle band. It still looks good to me. You're just going to need to keep the momentum, the interest. You have the volume. You have the fact that your technicals actually look really good here. Everything looks really good because it was so oversold. It's one to keep your eye on for sure. You got to just basically get above 5 and hold above it, and then you could possibly be seeing 10 in the short term. TC, this was one I was looking at the other day, and I'm just going to bring it up, or yesterday, I'm just going to bring it up as an example. Again, you have a huge day, 30%. Next day, you lose 20%. You had a push to, how much in the morning? You had a push to $1, and you had a pull back all the way to 60 midday. These things are just, they're all over the place. They're day tradable, but if you don't want to lose your hair and lose your composure and go crazy, then they're just not for you. And they're not for me. I have way too busy of a lifestyle. And again, I can't day trade. So let me take that back. But either way, I don't want to be sitting there staring at my phone like, oh my God, is it going to work? Is it going to work? Oh! No, I'm not trying to be in that mind state when I have 6 clients being like, hey, where's housekeeping? Hey, do you know when we have access to 1999? Hey, do you know where the forklift was parked? Whatever the case may be, I don't need to also be thinking, wow, I'm down 50% today on a full lot of shares. Can you shut the hell up and let me sit here and want to kill myself in silence? Because I've been there. I've lost 30 grand in a morning, and I've had to deal with somebody that was all happy-go-lucky like they knew me from high school. And I'm like, yo, shut the frick up. GDVM. And then I've also had days where I've made a boatload of money in the day. Like my highest ever was 70 grand. I couldn't even breathe. But you know what? I'm not even going to go there with what I was going to say because this is a kid show and I can't get into certain things. I can't tell certain stories. GDVM having a harsh pullback here. VMOS merger. I don't know what happened to it. They also tried to get into JPEX back in the day. JPAX, EX. Didn't work out. Doesn't seem like it's working out here. Absolutely insane run. I remember somebody said that they had, I don't remember how many, but they were up like 100,000%. And they proved it to me. They sent me the screenshot, and I actually believe them because you could have bought in. Or maybe I don't. Yeah, maybe I don't. I take that back. I don't know. I think that might have just been a pump piece. I never bought this either way. I bought it way back in the day for a quick flip, 30%, but that's it. So, but you listen, you're getting oversold here. You might come down to this support. 3, you might come down to this support, 2.5. You buy from 3 to 2.5. You're probably in a good position to get a bounce. Now, I wouldn't hold for 6 years after you get in at 2.5, but I would definitely try and get in at 2.5 and sell 5. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that without a shadow of doubt. VDRM, not much to say about this one because they are a little bit slow on news right now, but it is pulling back just to where I'm right to the sweet zone, 9.7, 9.6, 9.5. You get anything oversold that, you're in incredible shape for a quick bounce, probably going back up to 17 from there. Now, you do have a gap at 6.3. That's too far gone from here. I think you're going to touch the support first and bounce pretty hard, then maybe or maybe just at least bounce. Then maybe over time, you might come back and fill that gap, or the company starts to come out with some new stuff and it starts to get kicked in the gear and it starts to go up again. HNRC. This is looking good here just because it's starting to settle on this gap fill. Again, this company doesn't have a lot to talk about right now. And you kind of had this big mama run, big daddy long legs straight to the Mars orbital zone, which is beautiful. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's something that I would literally want to caress. This is a chart that I want to caress on the late night. When I come home from drinking, it's there waiting for me, sprout out on the couch. Don't even make it into the bed, just serving each other chocolate strawberries all night, just touching its little head. When I say little, I don't mean that little. There's a lot. One thing that's been happening a lot, and I have to disclose that. And when I say that, I'm like, oh, that sounded weird, because of the fact that pedophilia is becoming a mainstream thing. And I said it was going to become a mainstream thing back in 2010, and everybody called me a nut job. Why? Because I moved to LA and I saw the filth that was happening out here. I'm like, oh, we're not too far. I called the tranny movement before it was even a thing. Nobody even knew what a tranny was, and I was already like, oh, they're going to be the next thing, next best thing to say spread. And now look at it. We have them dancing in front of kids, having the kids talking to their dicks like it's a microphone, and I'm supposed to sit here and act like that's okay. And then when I say something like a little head, I feel like, oh my God, they're going to think that I'm a child molester. And chances are that half of the people that you walk by in the supermarket are. It's disgusting. And soon we're going to make that whatever. Hey, no big deal. Hey, I got to slow down. I got to stop, because I'm going to say things that aren't a little off color that most people won't agree with. And then I'm going to lose subscribers. But I'm so far right, I'm falling off a cliff. I make the alt-right shiver, okay? Because I know the way the world works, and I know the agenda that's being pushed. This is something that I study more than stocks. This is something I care about more than stocks. Because this is just money. The world around you is one of the most important things to pay attention to. And not from Fox News or CNBC or any Ben Shapiro. What? HIRU. This one wants to get off its little bum, but it just can't. It just keeps getting denied once it starts to get up a little bit. Now, that could change very shortly here. Your RSI is getting into the hot zone at 55. Your MACD is pretty much settled. Volume isn't tremendous. You got to get above this channel. You got to get above, like, you want to see a break at 3 to get any type of movement here. And you're currently at 2-1, so it's not that far off. Just need the volume to come in. You need the company to stop diluting. This is a very good company. They actually do have a product. I've seen it in stores, and I've seen it in pretty much every store that sells their water, obviously. But no, they're in a lot of stores out here, which is great. But they have to dilute because they're in a very hard beverage industry is very hard to crack into. I used to have friends that owned a company called Peloton. It was this like coffee drink that was like, actually it was like a tea, and it was really good, and they made a lot of headway. They were in Walmart, they were in a bunch, and then Peloton sued them for the name, even though it was in the same genre, and they lost everything. But I remember how much funding they had to raise. I used to work for a Rohan Oza, who's one of the sharks on Shark Tank. He's the one that blew up Smart Water. So I was even trying to get them in front of him. I even pitched it to his assistant, even though I worked with him directly. He's that big of a guy. You don't just like bring ideas if you're serious. Long story short, they did years and years and years of this beverage company, got really far, and it still didn't work out. So hopefully it works out for HIRU. I'm in your corner. GVSI, not much to say about this except for what I've been saying for a while. You're not going to do much for any amount of time, or for in the short term here, unless something comes out. You obviously need news. It's going to sit here for that amount of time until you get updates. Once the updates start to roll in, once the red tape is taken down, once Sharp can open his mouth, because I'm pretty sure he can't right now due to litigation with old shareholders, then you can get excited. But for right now, you're pretty much just accumulating on at the same price. VPLM, this one looks good. Based on the chart, this was one that I wanted to load up heavy the other day. I didn't, but I'm thinking about doing it today. It does look really good to me. You're closing above this middle band. RSI, MACD look good. Volume's about to come in my opinion. I'm going to take this to the bank. I think that this might be a very good hold. I think this is going to get to 8 short term. Long term, meaning over the next couple months, maybe month and a half, this could see 40 cents. This could see 40 cents. I'm not even joking. I'm not making that up. This is something, that's all I'm going to say. I will get more into that as the events develop. VNTH, somebody literally just commented on my page and said, hey, can you look into VNTH? Yes, this thing has pulled back pretty hard. But, I mean, now, this could be forming a W. You might have a little bit more time of consolidation to wait for that. You had this pop. You had this drop. Now, you might have a little bit more time before it creates the other arm of this W. I think the next wing is going to go to 15, somewhere in that range. You're currently at 5. You accumulate here at 5. You just wait, and that's it. Sometimes that's the best game to play. No volume, whatever. If you have, let's say, $40,000 in a portfolio, you put, let's say, I'd probably buy 5 million shares of this at 5 and just wait. And just wait. $2,500. You wait till it. You put your selling at 15. Don't even look at it. Don't even care about it. And eventually, you'll be selling that at the ask. So that's all for today. Hopefully that wasn't too long, because I got to upload this quite quickly. I don't know what that shows on my page. I guess I'll just make myself bigger. Even though I'm in the dumbest hat. I hate hard hats, and I hate the way I don't have to wear one. I never wear one. It's just in the office, so I'm just like, I don't know. It looks different. But either way, I look tired because I am tired, and I want to go sleepy time, and I could probably, because I could do whatever I want, as I said, but I'm a responsible person, and I'm not a piece of crap, and I don't just go to work and just sleep because I can. Remember that, folks. If your boss isn't watching, you're watching yourself. And if you're a piece of I can't curse. If you're a piece of crap, then you're going to feel like one. Adios.